Presently, I'm reading the book Panchali, roughly translated as Song of the Road. It is written by Bibhutibhushan Banerjee or Bandopadhyay in Bengali, but of course, I'm reading a translation. So, Bengali, it's written by Bibhutibhushan Banerjee, and it has been translated into English by T.W. Clark and Tarapada Mukherji, and you have the publishers from London, George Allen and Unwind Limited, Ruskin House, Museum Street. So in the introduction, a little bit about the author. His career was varied. After graduation, he became a teacher. Then he was appointed inspector to the Society for the Protection of Cattle, and later he became a clerk in an estate office. So, his first literary venture was a short story, Upekshita, which was published in 1922 by the Calcutta journal Pravasi. So in the story, the principal characters are four, of whom Opu and Durga hold first place. The story is about them. I mean, you will see he has written the entire story through their perspective. And we grow with them. We grow with these two kids. And we feel with them. We look through their lens and know the world and the people in it as they know them. And the other principal characters are the parents of Opu and Durga, Shorbojoya and Horihor, and their poor and dilapidated home at the village Nishchindipur, with its galaxy of children, women, and men on the one hand, and on the other, portrayed so often as personified beings, the trees, fruits, flowers, the paths through the village. Then you're introduced to the paths through the village, past the houses, down to the bathing steps, through the jungle and across the open country, the birds, the sky, the clouds, and Opu's constant friend, the evening sun. Occasionally the scene is set outside Nishchindipur, as when Opu goes away with his father and meets Omola, or when Horihor is looking for work at Krishna Nagar. But in a very real sense, they are still at home. Opu's mind at every turn harks back to Durga and Shorbojoya. So in short, if you want to know about the portrayal of a village in the deep interiors of Bengal, must read this, and you can get an economic overview of the abject poverty that surrounds this family. So it is a debut of this author. It became a classic of Indian literature. There's a movie based, which is the directorial debut of Satyajit Ray, and later became an international phenomenon. So, I mean, it is not one of Bibhutibhushan's best novel. There are others you must read, but this became popular because it was scripted into a movie. So, as I've already said, it's a story of the village Nishchindipur in the interiors of Bengal, story of the family of the village priest Harihar, who wanted to be a writer, hence he's not committed, very laid back to his work as a priest. So he just officiates in the function of very few families because they are the poorest family, and that's how they become one of the poorest families in the village. So if you must read for yourself. Harihar's wife is Shorbajaya, who had come into the marriage with a lot of dreams. She had an idea that she was marrying a writer who would have a great standing in the village. Very soon her myth is busted. Harrier provides for the family as a good man, but he is ineffective. He hardly earns enough for the family. Shorbajaya is peeved and frustrated because she finds she cannot provide her children even with the basic amenities. The tiny luxuries she wants to provide for her kids are inaccessible. So that is how you will see the poverty which is essayed so well out here in this book. So they all live in a rundown house. Their clothes are threadbare, hardly enough to eat. And that's how Shorbajaya becomes bitter, constantly annoyed with the world in general. She knows because of her poverty she's a social misfit and is an embarrassment, social embarrassment, sort of shunned by the villagers, not invited to their homes, etc. The older daughter is Durga, who is 6 years old when the story begins. She's an adorable, curious girl and is attracted to, likes to be with Indra Thakur, an ancient aunt of Harrier, very old she is, who stays with them because she has no other place to go. And Shorbajaya is very jealous of Indra Thakur and doesn't like the bond she shares with her daughter Durga, because Durga spends an idyllic time with her, listening to stories. The secrets they share is she doesn't share with anybody. And so Durga has her own delightful world with the ancient aunt, much to the envy of her mother, with whom, she's not very friendly with her mother. She has a distant relation with her because maybe she's irritable. And then comes Apurva. Apurva is born, the little brother of Durga, whom she adores. They play together, they make their own games. See, look at this, the back cover you can see, that's Durga. And so Durga is like a rebel. She's a child of nature. She loves wandering, roaming around. And she's unconventional because she sees the way her mother is all, so she's bogged down in convention and she's not happy. Now her brother Opu goes to school. He has a way of life of his own now outside his home and discovers the outside world besides his mother, father, sister. And Opu and Durga always wanted to see the train, and you must find out how he, misses her when he sits on a train. And in between, Harrier goes off and comes back, and there is a lot of loss, anguish in between. But being poor does not give you the luxury of setting aside your life and grieving. You have to go on or get on with the business of living. That is Pather Panchali for you, and it is very important that you read this book and you will see where what was the village life, and it hasn't changed much even today, though we are independent. The issues remain the same, the emotions are the same. So that is why I feel that it is a must read. Okay? Children must read this book.